So first of all, do you like the fact that you have locks?
Yeah. What up? It's your boy Ross. My guy Tom's giving me a haircut. I've been on this lock journey for 6 months. Gonna be answering some questions about it, my personal experience, and yeah. The way it's probably changed the most is like the direction that it grows in. Over time, depending on not only how you like sleep on it, but also just the longer it gets, the weight of the actual lock itself changes. Meaning that usually depending on where it is like on your head, it'll probably like fall in that direction, which is a lot different than like in like that first month when I had locks, when it kind of just like went wherever it wanted because it was so light that it like stood straight up. The other thing that's probably changed is not necessarily the texture, but like how twisted it is. Like you get to feel like that actual locked texture like on the tips, at least for me now 6 months in. And I can definitely feel how like even if I wanted to like wash it out, it probably wouldn't. So like you also get to actually feel like the progress happening, and you get to notice it. Realistically, once every 2 weeks, you're like, oh, like it's a lot longer now. You might be able to look up and now like I can see it like just from my eyes without having pulling it down, which I couldn't do probably like 3 months ago. One of the most important tips that I can give is to wear a head covering when you go to bed. When you're sleeping, it puts your hair in a lot of uncomfortable positions, especially if you move a lot in your sleep. So you really should wear a do-rag if you don't have, because especially in the early stages, do-rags are tighter than a bonnet. But once it grows longer and like a do-rag is a lot more difficult to fit around your head. Like for me now, 6 months in, I wear a bonnet a lot more. It just happens to be a lot more comfortable for me. My second tip would be when retwisting, try to use oil. I think that me, especially because I'm an athlete, for these past 6 months, I've been in school and I've been playing soccer, I've been playing basketball. You get a lot of buildup if you're working out and you're sweating a lot, if you're using a lot of hair product. And it makes it not only just like your scalp more itchy than it already would have been, but it also just makes it more nasty overall. It just like feels bad, and once it mixes with your like when it mixes with your sweat, it kind of just sits on your head. If you are going to use any hair product when you're locking or when you're retwisting, you should probably just use oil. Just so that, you minimize the amount of gunk that's going to end up getting stuck in your hair. My one other tip also is to commit to it. Obviously, once you start getting locks, you kind of should already have a commitment to being like, oh, like this is going to be a journey. Because once you do enough research on it, you understand that it will be. Your hair evolves from month 1 to month 3 to month 6 where I am now. I look a lot different than I did 6 months ago, my hair. So it's very important to just understand that with time, it's also going to look better. And though in those first weeks, there are definitely going to be some of those days where the hair just isn't dropping the way that you want it to. But once you realize, trust me, after 6 months, you're going to realize that it was worth it. Your hair's going to look a lot different, especially if it's your first locking journey. Then you're going to realize that your hair has never looked like this. It's very nice to have like a change of pace, because like me personally, I was rocking like the same like retro style high top for like 2 years, and it's been very liberating not having to kind of be in that same hairstyle that's from like the 80s. I think the biggest change to my hair routine is probably that like I don't have to worry about what my hair is going to look like as much as I did before. Yeah, it'll be a little lopsided when I get out of bed, but like bed head is a lot easier to manage now. I don't have to spend like 5 minutes like picking out my hair or like spritzing water on it and then oiling it like every morning. That's like not something that I have to do anymore. So realistically, when I'm getting ready, I kind of just, take the bonnet off. Realistically, at this point, after 6 months, I kind of just shake my head out, and then it tends to like just fall the way that it usually does. And if it doesn't, worst case scenario, you can always just put a hat on. But like, yeah, probably the biggest change is that it just takes a lot less time. It's a lot easier to manage, and I don't have to worry as much about like leaving my dorm room like looking like a mess. Probably like the primary plan that I've had throughout this whole like locking journey was like being able to feel and see like my hair movement. If anything, a type of style that I'm going to do once it's longer is 2-strand twisted, because I think that also just gives a nice pattern to it. And it also means that when I take them out, it makes my hair look like there's a lot more like volume. and it feels like it's like grown out a lot more. One piece of advice that I'll probably give myself now is to be more in tune with like listening to what my scalp or what my hair is actually saying. Figure out what your hair type is, understand what's best for your scalp, for your hair, to make the journey as easy and like as clean as possible, like just to make it like the best experience instead of using like what like won't work well. So that'll just make it also the results probably won't be as good as they could be. So just I would personally say, you know, what works best for me might not be what works best for you. So just research, figure it out what it is that works best for you, and that will probably make your locking journey just a lot better.
All right.